Salvage Vanguard was founded in 1994 by a couple of guys named Jason Newlander and David Bucci. They came from the Northeast and landed in Austin in the mid to late 90s and decided to set up camp and start doing experimental theater. The mission of the organization from the beginning was to explore avant-garde works by new American playwrights. When you walk into the Salvage Vanguard Theater, you experience possibility and risk and experimentation. And hopefully, if it's a good production, you will also maybe be stopped or surprised or leave having questions. We try to create a scrappy yet vibrant hub that is busy 24/7 with all different sorts of arts mediums. We produce theater and have for 20 years, but as a hub, we also provide space for puppeteers, dancers, experimental musicians, experimental film, comedy, and the goal being to create a space that an Austinite can walk into and see the best of new local arts.
I really enjoyed having the opportunity to cross over into another world and really come up with anything that I wanted to put into that world. I think that it's really valuable for people in different disciplines to get experience, not just on the stage in the band bar setting or just in the pit. You are, in any case, essentially some type of sound designer making audio to fit the environment.
For me, puppetry is maybe the oldest art form there is. The thing about puppetry is that you can do it with a stick and a rag. And if you do it well enough and you make that creature that you've constructed breathe and feel and think, you can make people laugh and you can make people cry. Salvage Vanguard has been a big part of my artistic life and my company's life because it's provided me a home where I can have this workshop, and it's provided me a place to put on my shows, which is really, really crucial because the resources are so limited here.
My play just premiered in the last season, world premiere, which is humongous for me. And I would say the work, getting my work in front of an audience, having anyone pay attention to me as a playwright is incredible because there are a lot of doors closed, particularly if you're new and you don't have a degree and you don't have an agent. To get to premiere something in my hometown, have my whole family be here, have all the collaborators I want to work with supporting me is humongous.
With film, theater, and dance, my main goal is to complete the director's artistic vision and to make something that helps the play without trying to take it over. The other thing that collaborating does for me is pulls me in unexpected directions artistically and creates a demand to create a style of music or a kind of music that independently I wouldn't have thought of, but it expands my palette and my ideas musically.
The real gift of arts, and theater in particular, is the conversation it creates with community. Not only with the community of artists who are working on the piece, but then you take that out to the larger circle, to the patrons who are attending, and then you take that out to the larger circle, to the community that we reside in. So these conversations happen on all of these levels. And the best art is sparking those conversations.
Salvage Vanguard Theater is so important is because it creates space for audiences to have these experiences that they normally wouldn't have. It gives them an opportunity to process some of these themes that are presented in these works about social situations and social issues in a way that you would never have. And I think that that's really a slept-on part of the magic of theater, is that you are then given space to process these bigger concepts, these bigger issues, and have that experience and take that away and have that shape how you move through the world.
I think that the arts in Austin are important sometimes it seems self-evident, but I think it does get overlooked that one of the reasons that Austin has the culture that it has had, the kind of society that we have been as a community, a lot of that comes from it being a place where artists could do their work without having to really compete commercially.
All arts are really essential to an individual's health and a family's health and a community's health. When you put all these people together who have lifetimes of experience doing some of these things, there's just a lot of magic that happens, and it unifies. I think it unifies people.
We can then take someone from being just a spectator sitting outside and give them opportunity to think things that then inform action, and that's how I think that it can, you know, save people that you're teaching, but it can save our community.
The creative world and the tech world and the whole Austin energy and feel is an ecosystem, and if you take away a key part of that ecosystem, then the whole system falls apart. And Salvage Vanguard planted those seeds for this thriving theater scene, which then incubates ideas and creative thinking and essential part of a scene that is Austin. And if you take that away, then you're taking away something foundational, essential, and crucial to what makes Austin special.
This had all kinds of impact on the economy here, the culture here, the fact that people do move to Austin in such numbers. A lot of that has to do with the kind of society that we have been. I think it's always been sort of central to the identity of the city to have this artistic community. Like I say, Salvage Vanguard is a huge part of that. It's one of the better known companies from this area of the country.
Salvage Vanguard has become a staple in the experimental and alternative art scene in Austin. And our livelihood is really dependent on the community's seen and recognizing that we are an important part of the Austin ecosystem. And we're a nonprofit, so we will never make money on our art. That's not why we're here. We are really just here to engage with our community, to engage with each other, to create dialogue and conversation.
This is the space that we either get to engage with a world that's completely different than ours, or we get to step back and have a conversation about our own world and how we all fit into whatever's happening.
We provide an opportunity for you to really have a hand in supporting that new DIY artist as they climb up this sort of metaphorical mountain towards actualizing their work in a much bigger, grander way. Without that space for these artists who are working from the ground up, I again wonder, well, where do we nurture? How is the next best new thing going to be nurtured? Where do they come from? Where do they start if Austin isn't making a space for them by supporting organizations and arts hubs like Salvage Vanguard Theater?